corn.
Is it your testimony, Mr. Johnson, that this checking account is absolutely free?
Really free checking from First Federal Bank.
You expect the court to believe that?
Really free checking from First Federal has no per check charge, no minimum balance, and unlimited check writing.
Hey,
No, you also get a free instant cash card, free ATM usage. Even your first box of checks is free. Order in the court.
Hey, sign me up.
Really free checking from First Federal Bank. Real banking for real people. Member FDIC.
You know, for a real treat, try a big hand-dip ice cream cone, just $1. Choose from 8 tasty flavors. Get your Price Busters stamps, fill a Saver card, and get Superstore specials. Plus, they're a Gold Card sponsor, saving you 3 cents a gallon on great Conoco gas. 15th Street Conoco. Make it a regular stop on 15th Street, Bemidji.
Moose Richards, Jeff Drobby, and Scott Williams back at Chet Anderson Stadium on a Wednesday evening. Kind of a strange place to be on a Wednesday evening playing some high school football. Of course, due to the conferences coming up tomorrow and Friday, there is no school for the high school or for that matter, public schools in the States, I believe. All have tomorrow and Friday off. So therefore, we have the game tonight. Plus, that gives everybody a chance to get the section seedings for the playoffs, which begin actually next Tuesday. So a very quick turnaround. Of course, we played last Thursday, and the quick turnaround to play on Wednesday, and next week the quick turnaround to play on Tuesday. So a very quick turnaround on all 3 games that we have, and then even if the Jacks are victorious next 2, the only loss they have so far is against the team that defeated us here at Chet Anderson, and that was the Detroit Lakes team that we did lose to. But I tell you, this is a team that if they come out and play, they do have a chance to beat this team.
I think so, and they got us playing mistake-free football. It's no secret. I think Troy Hendricks said that as well. Man, we can't let this team get turnovers. They seem to create touchdowns off of turnovers. And it's kind of odd mirroring the season that Bemidji had last year is what Fergus Falls is doing this year. They only lost to Detroit Lakes. They come in late in the season here to Bemidji, needing a win to stay number 1. Bemidji had the same scenario last year and almost pulled off the win that Fergus Falls did last year. They had a great quarterback in Aaron Olson. They got a new guy in this year. He's a senior, though, Ben Brimhall. I'll have to wait and see what happens with him, but I guess the injury to Justin Arson could hurt him tonight because he's got like 5 touchdowns on like special teams alone in 7 games in this season, and they're going to have to find a way to replace him.
They certainly are. That's going to be one of the big things. The other thing is Troy talked about is they have a lot of players that go both ways, Jeff, and grinding is what the Jacks need to do if they want to come out tonight and grind this team down, make them tired as half the players go both ways and just grind it out.
Yeah, that's the beauty of having enough kids so you can go 2 ways, is that you should never have the problem with kids getting tired, especially on a night when it's 50 degrees out. They should be able to stay healthy the whole time.
We are about set for the opening kickoff. Ryan Ricard is available, but it looks as though, once again, Mike Crawford will be set for the opening kickoff. As we get underway, the Otters have won the toss, and they have elected to receive. They'll play from our left to our right. The opening kick is a good one by Crawford. It's going to bounce just shy of the 10, picked up at about the 7-yard line. A return comes out across the 20. He's got a hole across the 40, across the 45, 50. Miramontes the only man back, and he knocks it out of bounds at the Jacks 40-yard line. Nice return on the play, but there is a flag down. That was Timothy Erickson on the return for Fergus Falls. But once again, the flag down. We'll have to wait and see. I'm sure a holding call upcoming on the Otters as they are consulting with Brian Sherwood at midfield. So this will come back. But, boy, a heck of a return by Timothy Erickson to start off the game.
Yeah, I was just going to say on the run back, looked like the call was on Chad Hoppinen for the Otters. I thought it might have been a good block. I was going to say what a heck of a block, which sprung that return, but they were a lot closer to playing than we are.
Spot of the foul is marked at apparently the 32-yard line, so they'll mark it all the way back to the 22. So actually, they're going to say the spot of the foul was the 22, so they'll mark it all the way back to the 12. So a huge penalty against Fergus Fergus Falls, and actually down to the 11-yard line. They'll start deep in their own territory. Ben Grimhall, the starting quarterback for the Fergus Falls Otters, and we are underway here at Chet Anderson Stadium early in the first quarter.
Yeah, it's a situation where it's not just a 10-yard penalty. To me, that's a 45-yard penalty. I mean, you're in Lumberjack territory, and then you go back to 11-yard line.
So again, Grimhall drops under center, and already a change from the starting rotation that they handed out at the beginning, and we're going to get a false start. Actually, we're going to have penalty flag before the snap. And Bemidji is going to be offside, so they'll get it 1st and 5. And the Otters will have it up to the 16-yard line.
Yeah, it looked like it was on number 55, Adam Sorensen, just lined up in the neutral zone. Again, you got a lot of adrenaline going this first part of the game, and you get penalties like that can happen.
So the backfield is now Chad Hoppinen and Brian Larrabee instead of Dave, or actually make that Dave Carson, Chad Hoppinen. They'll run it up the middle, get out across the 20-yard line, maybe close to first down yardage, as that was Hoppinen on the carry. They mark it just shy of the 21, and I think we might have a measurement. They will bring the chains in, but very, very...
Well, you've got 2 downs left to go after this, so it's going to be interesting to see what kind of play they come out with here.
So Ben Grimhall once again brings the Fergus Falls offense to the line. They'll send one man wide to the right side. They'll go back now to Brian Larrabee and Dave Kirst in the backfield. Long snap count for the Otters. They'll hand it off the left side. That is Larrabee. He'll get across the 21 and out to about the 23, maybe 24-yard line before he's brought down the first down for the Fergus Falls Otters.
Well, that was a blast play to the left side, and the Otters' offensive line so far doing a pretty good job of creating some holes so that makes that first block for that fullback a lot easier.
Very early as we're just underway here at Chet Anderson Stadium, 11:20 to play still in the opening quarter. A big penalty pushed the Otters deep into their own territory, but they've run it straight out the middle, and right now are on their own 24-yard line, 1st and 10. Glenn Grimhall again under center. They have a lone setback with one wide receiver on either side. Grimhall fades back to pass. He's in pursuit. He's going to be arm tackled, but instead breaks free across the 25, across the 30 now, and Virginia Milimanis, who has come into tonight's game on the quarterback role, knocks him out of bounds at their own 39-yard line, but broken play there, and nice scrambling ability by Ben Grimhall.
That was a play-action pass to the lone running back in the backfield there. He rolled out to the right side, and the Lumberjacks defensive front people created some pressure, got out of the pocket, and escaped 2 tackles there, and got a decent game for the Otters.
Looked as though Grimhall was going to be arm tackled in the backfield, instead broke that one, and then bounced it to the outside, knocked out of bounds at the 38, so make it 1st and 10 on their own 38, as the Otters go with a very, very tight formation. Ben Grimhall again under center. They'll hand it off on the counter. That's right up the middle, hopping in as he gains about 4 yards out to about the 43-yard line. Counter play worked very well there, as I think everybody thought Brian Larrabee had the ball, and a big hole for Chad Hoppinen to go into.
Yeah, in that formation, they're in the double slot formation. You can run blast play. You can run what they ran there, a slot counter, where the slot back on the right side took the handoff, went to the left side, and again, the Otter offensive line doing a nice job of creating some holes, giving them an opportunity to make a big game.
So again, they'll come up to the line of scrimmage in a little confusion. Looks as though Jesse Menike is going to have to come out, and they'll have to replace him. I don't know if that's an equipment issue for the Lumberjacks.
I think what it is blood on the padding he has. He's got to come out and get that covered up.
So again, they go with that very tight formation for the Fergus Falls Otters. It's once again Ben Grimhall dropping under center with Dave Kirst in the backfield. They'll run the counter play again. Flag down as keeper Grimhall out across the 50-yard line. They'll mark it at the 48 as they get into Jack's territory, but probably a hold on the play. So this one looks like it will come back.
That was a neat play. They ran that same play with the slot counter, the right side slot coming in there, and
and instead of giving him the ball, the quarterback just turned around after the fake and took off upfield, and would have had about a 10-yard gain, but the holding, thank God, brought it back.
They'll mark the spot of the foul at the 44-yard line, so push the ball back, make that the 45, so they'll have it 44, so it'll be on the 34-yard line, and brings up a second and about 14 on the play as Jesse Manicky comes back in. I believe they just put some tape over the blood mark, so big opportunity on defense here for the Jacks. Brimhall again under center with that tight end formation, two slot back formation, and once again Brimhall fades back to pass. He's got a man wide open, but almost picked off. Nice job on the play, Josh Smith in coverage. Ball was underthrown by about 5 yards, and Josh Smith, who had a couple of pass interference calls that were probably the bulk of the horrible officiating last week, almost picked that one off, just bounced off his shoulder pads and out of bounds, so 3rd and 14 for the Otters.
Yeah, that ball was just kind of forced in there. They only put one wide receiver out on the play, and the quarterback sat back, Brimhill, and didn't have anybody to go to, just decided to throw it downfield.
Well, now send 2 men wide to the left side, and lone setback is Brian Larrabee. Ben Brimhall again under center. He'll fade back to pass here on 3rd and 14. Good pressure by the Jacks. He's brought down at the 30-yard line. Great job on the play by Jimmy Mack in the backfield. Good penetration. Brings up a 4th down at about 19 yards. So Fergus Falls is going to be forced to punt here early in the first quarter.
Yeah, that's definitely what you call a coverage sack. I tell you what, their offensive line did a nice job. He stayed in the pocket for about as long as he could, but you can only keep him out so long, and they had great coverage and just decided to get out of the pocket and got sacked.
So the Otters are going to be forced to punt here on 4th and about 19 yards. And number 7, Ben Brimhall, the quarterback, also the kicker here for the Otters. Deep back in coverage is Matt Hendricks for the Jacks, but flag before things even got set. And we have some Jacks clapping, so I'm going to assume it's going to be another either a delay game or a procedure penalty. Actually, now they're going to call it a penalty against Bemidji. So all that does is make it a 4th and 13 instead of a 4th and about 18.
Looked like he was telling Coach Hendricks it was his mouth guard that wasn't in, so that's a penalty we hate to see happen.
So once again, it's going to bring up a 4th and long, though, and it's going to be Brimhall back for the punt, and that just means Matt Hendricks will stand back on his own 30-yard line instead of his own 35 in coverage. Again, Brimhall set to get the kick off. Here is the kick. Good penetration. It's blocked. It's going to be Jamie Muramanis recovering at about his own 10-yard line. And about down to the 9. Jamie Muramanis recovers the block punt at the Fergus Falls 9-yard line. Huge play. Great penetration by the Jackson. All of a sudden, they're in business. 1st and goal.
Yeah, I think that was Jimmy Mack that blocked that. Just happened to sneak through there. They were more worried about the guy lined up on the outside that they let penetration get to the inside, and he blocked it pretty handily.
Yeah, it was right up the middle. Brimhall had no chance to really get it off, and a great job on the block, and then Jamie Miramanis, a good job. He wanted to pick it up and go into the end zone, but wasn't able to. Robbie Johnson this time going to hand it off right up the middle, still on his feet. That's going to be, I believe, Mitch Webb on the carry, and he'll get down to about, actually, they'll only give him a gain of a yard down to the 8-yard line, brings up a 2nd and goal for the Jacks.
Yeah, that was just a base play where they're going to hand it off, straight dive, and I tell you what, whoever that was on the Otters defensive line just grabbed him and threw him straight back. Pretty strong kid to do that.
So they will go with Hendricks and Webb in the backfield. Robbie Johnson again under center with 1 man wide to the right side. They'll run the keeper option play. There's got to be a face mask penalty on that as Robbie Johnson gets inside the 5-yard line, but somebody grabbed his mask on the way down, but doesn't look like there is a flag. Jacks will have it 3rd and
goal on the 3 of Fergus Falls.
That's a play that's worked well for us the last couple of weeks. Just a quarterback option where he's going to let the backs block in front of him and try to pick a hole. And as soon as he finds that hole, really dive up in there and try to get as many yards as possible.
Just inside the 3-yard line, actually getting close to the 2. And once again, they'll hand it off right up the middle. That's Matt Hendricks into the end zone for a touchdown. Big 2-yard, 3-yard touchdown run by Matt Hendricks. And the Jacks strike first. It's 6-0. And now we're finally going to see Ryan Ricard come in and attempt the extra points.
Well, we haven't seen him now for how many games? It's been about 4 games since we've seen him, so hopefully he's not rusty.
So with 7:10 to play, the Jacks strike first. And Ryan Ricard on for the extra point. It's going to be James Pearson on the hold. 6-0. The Jacks take the early lead. Ball is down, ball is up, and it is good. So the Jacks take the 7-0 lead. We'll take a break as Jacks continue on the Bun Sports Radio 1450.
Kickoff would be a great game, wouldn't it?
Certainly can't argue with that.
The key is you got to capitalize on the Jacks did.
Mike Crawford again on the kickoff. He muffs this one. It's going to be picked up at the Jacks 35, or the Fergus Falls 35, maybe 36-yard line by the up lineman, number 36, Brandon Osland, and that was just a bit of a muff kick by Mike Crawford. Kind of, I think, slipped off the ball and only ended up going about 30 yards. And so another big opportunity here for Fergus Falls.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. He definitely kicked the top of the football, which caused it to go down right away, and it bounced the entire 30 yards.
So again, Fergus Falls will start their offensive maneuvers. Again, that tight formation for the Otters. And Brimholm again under center with that tight formation. They'll run the counterplay right up the middle. Flag on the play again. I believe that's going to be number 6, Chad Hoppenden, again on the carry. He'll gain about 5 yards, but going to be a holding call, I believe, against Fergus Falls, so that'll push him back again.
That hold is on Matt Goldaddy.
Face mask against the Jacks, so tack on 15 yards from the spot of the foul, and all of a sudden first down, and they're into Jacks territory at about the 45-yard line.
And that's kind of surprising because it was one flag was thrown from the official behind the Otters offensive formation. It's a situation where he can't really see a hold taking, or a face mask like that taking place, so it's kind of surprising.
So Fergus Falls gets the ball first and 10 as they are into Jacks territory at the 45-yard line with 7:04 to play. Jacks with the early 7-0 lead, capitalizing on a blocked punt. They won a 3-play, 9-yard touchdown scoring drive, and now the defense has to step things back up and hold the Otters offense, which has been fairly potent so far this year. Again, the tight formation for the Otters. Brimhall under center. Long snap count. Counterplay again. He'll keep it up the middle. Gain about 5 yards down to the 40-yard line just inside, and brings up a 2nd and 5 for Fergus Falls.
Tell you what, so far the big offensive plays for Fergus Falls have been that slot counter, and then this play that they just ran where they're going to fake the slot counter, and then the quarterback just turns around and runs up the hole. It's been pretty successful.
So a 2nd and 5 upcoming for Fergus Falls. They're on the Jacks 40-yard line. They go with the tight formation, 2 tight ends, 2 slot backs wide either side. They go with Brian Larrabee again is the lone setback. Then Brimhall drops under center. They run that counterplay again, hand it off to Chad Hoppenden. They'll get down close to the first down yardage, and now they're seeing a fumble, and the Jacks recover. Jacks recover a fumble on the 135-yard line. Didn't see the ball pop loose, but a host of Jacks started pointing the other way, and the officials agree with them, so the Jacks take over 1st and 10 on their own 35-yard line.
Hey, look, this is a good start of the game for the Lumberjacks. 2 turnovers, especially if we can capitalize on this one, too.
And Troy was talking about that Fergus Falls certainly took advantage of the turnovers for themselves, so to have 2 big turnovers here early in the game, still 6:08 to play, certainly going in favor of the Bemidji Lumberjacks. 2 men wide to the left side. Robbie Johnson under center. Again, they'll go with Hendricks and Webb in the backfield. Johnson with the long snap count. He'll hand it off up the middle. That is Matt Hendricks. He'll gain a couple of yards out to about the 37. Actually, pick up with just 1, so out to the 36-yard line, brings up a 2nd and 9 on the play.
Outside veer play to the right side, and Matt Hendricks took the ball as the dive back and got only a yard.
So again, they'll send two-man wide to the left side, James Peterson and Eddie Johnson. Again, they'll stay with Mitch Webb and Matt Hendricks in the backfield. Robbie Johnson dropping under center. They'll take the snap and hand it off up the middle. Or actually, he's going to be tackled back behind. It was play action. Was going to run the option. Is going to lose a couple of yards on the play. Brings up a 3rd down and 11 on the play.
And that play, Dave Carrot, one of the running backs, did a nice job of seeing the football and didn't get faked out on the dive and went right for Robbie Johnson tackling it.
So this time they'll send Jamie Miramanis and Eddie Johnson wide to the right side. Split eye formation for Hendricks and Webb. Robbie Johnson again under center. A blitz shown by Fergus Falls. They pull back. He's going to pass. It's tipped. Miramanis caught it at the 46-yard line. Ball was tipped by Eddie Johnson about 5 yards, and just great coverage by Jamie Miramanis. Heads up play. He was falling down as he caught the ball, and first down for the Jacks.
I'll tell you what, that's some great concentration for a wide receiver. The ball was basically tipped like a bullet. It didn't go up in the air at all, and just came down with the ball, good enough for a first down.
So big 12-yard pass for Robbie Johnson with down now to 4:45 to play in the opening quarter. Jacks with the first score of the evening. It's 7-0, and again threatening here on this drive after the second turnover of the game. Robbie Johnson again under center with two men wide to the left side. Two-man backfield as usual. They'll run the option play again. Pitch out, actually nobody there, and looks as though Robbie Johnson's going to be able to pick up the ball again. Matt Hendricks was the trailing back, and he was just ahead of where Robbie Johnson expected him. So the Jacks will lose about 7 yards on the play, and they'll come up with a 2nd and 17.
That was an inside dual play to the left side, and it's good that they work on this in practice where Robbie Johnson, every time he pitches the ball, he wants to fade towards the pitch, and because of that was able to recover his own muffed pitch.
So again, split eye formation with Henderson Webb in the backfield, two wide receivers to the right side, Eddie Johnson and Jamie Miramanis. Robbie Johnson again under center. Looks like he's going to fade back to pass. He's almost tackled. The ball's going to be picked off at the 45-yard line. Return across the 50, down to the 45. He breaks it on the right side. Robbie Johnson had a hand, and now finally knocked out of bounds at the 30-yard line. Good job by Mitch Webb on the play, but picked off by Titus Christensen. And so 3 turnovers here early in the football game, and Fergus Falls now with 1st and 10 on the Jacks' 30-yard line.
I'll tell you what, that was a great play by Caleb Rednick for the Otters, giving Robbie Johnson pressure. He was forced to throw off his back foot, which is something you hate to see quarterbacks do, and didn't get as much oomph on the ball, and turnover.
3:36 to play. Like I said, 3 turnovers so far early in the ball game. Obviously, the block punt, which was recovered at the 9, fumble that the Jacks recovered at their own 45, and now this one, which was returned by Fergus Falls down to the Jacks' 30-yard line. Tight formation again for Fergus Falls. They'll hand it off. Actually, they run that counter option. Nobody knows that Ben Grimhall still hits the ball, and he'll go 30 yards for the touchdown. Double fake. They faked it to Chad Hoppenan and Brian Larrabee in the backfield, and nobody knew Ben Grimhall had it. Went around the left side and just waltzed in, untouched, 30 yards for a touchdown.
Yeah, at halftime they did slot counter from the left side and faked this handoff to the slot and just kept going downfield. It fooled everybody for the Lumberjacks defense.
7-6 with 3:27 to play as the first score comes here for the Fergus Falls Otters. And I looked even though Grimhall looked as though he was shocked that he was that wide open, just marched in from 30 yards, and like I said, absolutely untouched.
And I think with my speed, I could have made that one too.
So number 38, which would be Luke Draxton, is the kicker here for Fergus Falls. He'll get set for the extra point. He has a heck of a leg, as we saw in warm-ups, and was just booting the heck out of the ball. This one is up and is good as well, and that is very close to going into the lake. We'll take another break. It's 7-7 now with 3:27 to play. Jacks block the punt, get it at the 9-yard line. The fumble as the Jacks take over on their own 45, and then end this one as Fergus Falls returns it to the 31-play drive, and it was just Ben Brimhall wide open going into the end zone. Once again, it's going to be Luke Draxton on the kick. He has a heck of a leg, as we mentioned. Again, it's going to be Hendrickson Webb in the backfield. Good kick, deep, picked up by Webb at about the 2-yard line. He'll fumble it, gets his own fumble. The wall breaks down, but Webb is able to bring it back out to about the 16-yard line. And the wall way ahead of Mitch Webb on that because he dropped the ball, but still a nice job to get it back out to the 16-yard line.
Yeah, it's a situation where Braxton kicked the ball to about the end zone. When the ball gets dropped too, you can't hold those two walls that long, and sometimes it can be good and sometimes it can be bad.
So once again, it's going to be Robbie Johnson running the offense for the Jacks. They'll send Peterson, actually Miramanis and Johnson, one man wide to either side with the two-man backfield. Johnson with the long snap count. Once again, he's going to fade back to pass. He's got Miramanis open on a nice route, quick short out route, and he'll gain it all the way out to about the 24-yard line. So nice pickup of about 8 on the play, and it was the extra lean by Miramanis that got a couple extra yards, brings up a second and about 2.5.
That's that hitch play that worked really well for him against Wisconsin. Stevens Point, the wide receiver's going to take like he's going on a long fade route and just stop the pattern at about 7 yards and come back to the football, and it's a timing pattern.
So Ben Gish checks into the ball game. He'll go wide to the right side as the lone wide receiver, and they'll send in Ryan Johnson in the tight end formation. Slot back is Eddie Johnson, two-man backfield again with Robbie Johnson. They'll hand it off to right up the middle and fumbled again. I don't think the exchange went well. Fumbled it back behind the line of scrimmage and picked up again by Fergus Falls, and so fourth turnover of the afternoon or evening now, and Fergus has it 1st and 10 on the Jacks' 24-yard line.
Tell you the truth, I don't think Matt Hendricks even had the ball. As soon as Robbie Johnson was handing it off, he right away looked behind Matt Hendricks because he saw the ball on the ground.
2:33 to play, our fourth turnover of the evening, 2 for either team, and Jacks unable to capitalize on their second turnover. Hopefully the same will be the case for Fergus. Ben Brimhall again under center with that tight formation. Counter play handed off to the right side. That's Larrabee. Gets inside the 20, maybe down to about the 19-yard line. So a nice pickup of about 5, brings up 2nd and 5.
You can tell that the Lumberjacks have made some adjustments from that last play. They ran the slot counter from the left side to the right side, and that time 2 Lumberjacks were waiting in case Brimhall did keep the ball and try to scoot outside again.
Once again, that tight formation, they like to run a varied counter. They'll make 2, maybe 3 fakes on this series before handing it off. This time they do hand it off straight up the middle down to the 15-yard line. That's Dave Karst. He'll gain the first down. Actually, it'll be about a yard shy down to the 15-yard line of the first down. Brings up 3rd and 1.
Hey, that's a play you like to see in football. Dave Karst there running the football. Met Brian Sherwood, and it was just a standstill. It's just like 2 trucks hitting, and nobody gains an advantage.
Down to a minute and a half to play in the opening quarter. We are still tied at 7. Jacks scoring and capitalizing early on a blocked punt. Fergus taking over at their own at the Jacks 30 and capitalizing on an interception. And it's been this counter offense for Fergus. It's been the story, and turnover so far tonight. And Brimhall again under center with the tight formation. And Jacks will jump off sides. We'll see if somebody on Fergus Falls moved. But with a minute and 8 to play, looks as though they're going to call it false start on the Jacks. So that'll give Fergus the first down, and down to about the 10-yard line.
I'll tell you what, as a defensive player, you try to gauge the snap count throughout the game, and I think Brimhall changed the snap count a little bit because there was about 5 Lumberjack players offsides in that play.
So they're inside the 10, makes it 1st and goal with a minute and 8 to play. And
Athletic, your teammate and financial.
Once again, they'll go with that tight formation. Just looks kind of strange. I mean, it's basically two slot receivers and two tight ends on either side, one on either side, and they run a bunch of different counter plays. They'll hand it off up the middle to Brian Lowenby. He'll gain a couple of yards up to close to the 6-yard line. So a pickup of about 3.5 on the play and brings up 2nd and goal.
Yeah, out of that formation, they just handed the ball off to the tailback sitting there by himself. I think it's the first time that they've done that.
And that's one of the dangers with that. You don't want to bite on that first fake because so often it hasn't been the guy the ball's going to, and then they change it up and give it to the first guy they normally fake it to, and you're not playing for that, and they get some decent yardage. Again, they'll run that bootleg play around the outside. His knee slipped down. He'll be down back at about the 5-yard line. As his knee slipped, he'll gain about a yard on the play. But if he hadn't slipped down, he would have been close to maybe 1 or 2 yard line.
Also, as a defense, it's a scary situation with this offensive formation that they have because you're forced to put all 11 football players in the box, and it's like our offense. If you can break through that first or second line, you're gone.
That's the end of the first quarter. It's tied at 7. We'll come back with the second quarter on Jets football on the
Ran 60 yards down the field, and nobody even saw him. Maybe that's the type of play it looked like.
So the Otters spread the offense this time with 2 men wide to the right side, 1 man wide to the left, and nobody in the backfield. The man is wide open in the end zone, Timothy Erickson, and he'll go in for the 6-yard touchdown pass as they spread the offense pretty much for the first time, and another touchdown here for Fergus Falls.
Yeah, they had a twins formation to the right side with the wide receivers. The outside receiver went inside, the inside receiver went outside, and he was wide open.
So 4 seconds into the second quarter here, it's now 13-7 on the second touchdown of the evening for Fergus Falls. Timothy Erickson, a 6-yard touchdown reception. And again, it's going to be Luke Drexton on the extra point. Fortunately, he doesn't have Blake behind him to kick into just a couple of trees. Ball down, ball up, and I think that's going to be good as it almost goes. Yeah, it is going to be good. It almost went into the parking lot. We'll take another break. 14-7, the Jacks trail on the Jacks football on the Run Sports League kick. This time he gets under it a bit, but still, it's going to be Miramana fielding in his own goal line. He gets the web out across the 20-yard line before being driven down. He'll continue to drive the legs and get all the way out to the 24-yard line. Nice job by Jamie Miramanis on that, and got the extra 4 yards.
It's a play there when they were setting up the double wedge. 4 guys happened to get through for the Otters, and Mitch Webb just did a nice job of keeping the legs going and carried about 2 guys with him for about 10 yards.
First and 10, the Jacks have the ball on their own 23-yard line. Looks like they're where they'll mark it, so a 23-yard return. As once again, Fergus Falls continue to have a good kicking game. They'll send 2 men wide to the right side this time, the Jacks do. And again, it's Hendricks and Webb in the backfield. They'll hand it off to Hendricks. He breaks a hole across the 30-yard line. Finally driven down just shy of the 35, close to first down yardage at the 34-yard line. But nice run again as Matt Hendricks found the ball up the middle.
I think that's the first time we ran the cut play. Just a handoff. You read the block of the center. Matt Hendricks does a nice job of planting his feet and changing directions, and had a nice finish.
And it's good for a first down, so 10 yards for Hendricks. Again, they'll send 2 men wide to the right side. That's James Peterson and Eddie Johnson. They'll hand it off once again to Hendricks. They'll gain about 5 yards on the play as make that 4 yards as he stops short at the 38-yard line, brings up a second down and about 6.
Well, just a base play to the right side. Pretty decent game. So far the offense line did a nice job.
So with 11-10 to play in the second quarter, things continue to move for the Jacks, Scott, and offensively, you really can't argue with what they're doing.
You can't. There's just a couple of plays where they've turned the ball over and given Fergus Falls a short field to work with, and I think maybe they're going to try to ground it out, keep running the ball, have some success this confidence.
Again, it's going to be Matt Hendricks handoff up the middle. He'll get out to the 46-yard line, so another nice gain of about 8 yards on the play, and first down for the Bemidji Lumberjacks.
That was an outside veer play to the right side. Handed off to Matt Hendricks to dive back, and again, just a nice job around the football.
14-7 is the score. The Otters lead the Jacks here as this is the final game of the regular season. And playoffs upcoming next Tuesday night. Looks as though the Jacks will head to Moorhead to take on the Spuds. Again, they'll hand it off to Hendricks. Again, up the middle. He'll get stopped there at about the 50-yard line at midfield and brings up a second down in about 5 or 6 yards to go.
Outside beer play, the left side there. Matt Hendricks found an opening and got a great game in a first-down play.
So the line once again doing a good job of moving bodies, and Matt Hendricks doing a good job of finding the hole. And Jacks just continue to march it straight up the field so far, especially on this series of downs. Once again, two men wide to the right side with Henderson Webb in the backfield. Robbie Johnson dropping under center. Then he'll fade back to pass, and he's going to be sacked back behind the line of scrimmage. Nice penetration on the play by number 40, Cannon Kildee for the Fergus Falls Otters. That'll drive him back to about the 44-yard line and bring out the third and about 12.
Now that was a delayed blitz by the Otters. He realized that all the men were covered on the offensive line. He just had a free release to go right at Robbie Johnson's sack.
So the third and about 12 with now under 9 minutes and 20 seconds to play in the second quarter. They'll send two men wide again to the right side with Johnson as the slot back, split eye formation for Hendricks and Webb. And once again, they'll run kind of a counter play, handoff to Eddie Johnson. He'll struggle back to the 45-yard line, brings up a 4th and 11 on the gain of 1. And the Jacks are going to have to punt for the first time this evening.
It seems like we're going to get a drive going, and then it just falls apart. It's too bad.
It's just that one passing play, and you get the sack, and you lose 6-7 yards, and then you got to come up with something sneaky or throw the ball deep again. I think when they have tried to pass the ball, I think most Fergus Falls has had some penetration with a couple of sacks, forced fumble already, 2 forced fumbles.
Yeah, and that's really been the case. Is the Jacks have been very successful running the ball tonight. It's when they try and go to the air that they've had some problems. Again, Mike Crawford's going to come back and punt. They're going to send Eddie Johnson in motion to the left side. We did see a fake punt, but they're going to go with it. Ball is angling out of bounds down to about the 28-yard line. We'll see where they mark the ball. Actually, they mark it at about the... He's still walking. They mark it right at about the 30-yard line. So nice kick gotten off by Mike Crawford, and with 8:07 to play, the Otters take over again.
Tell you what, it shows the Lumberjacks to a good situation. We sent the guy in motion, so they ended up with 2 wide receivers, and the Otters sent nobody with him. So if you want to run a fake later on, if they don't make an adjustment to that, we're going to have one guy wide open.
So again, the Otters take over at their own 30-yard line, and they'll go with that tight formation once again. Ben Brimhall being very successful running the offense here with the touchdown lead at 14-7. Tight formation, they'll hand it off, actually fake the handoff up the middle. Brimhall passes it to a wide open man, but drops it. That's number 6, Chad Hoppenden. And Hoppenden is still down on the sideline, slow to get up, but just dropped it. It was right in his hands, and Hoppenden just dropped the ball.
They had 3 receivers in that situation, and I think they had one downfield, number 82, Jacob Dravelo. I don't know if he couldn't throw it that far or what, but he was wide open.
So second down and 10 on the incomplete pass on their own 30-yard line with under 8 minutes to play now in the first half. And this has been a mistake-filled first half so far in terms of turnovers, but offensively and defensively, both teams have done some things. So they spread the field again. Brimhall is back for a pass. Flag coming down. Brimhall's going to keep it across the 40 and knocked out of bounds at the 46-yard line, but probably going to be a hold inside by Fergus Falls, and that'll drive it back. And we'll wait and see the official ruling. But spotted a foul. The hold is going to be right at the 30. So push it back 10 more yards and brings up looks to be a 2nd and 20 for the Fergus Falls Otters.
Yeah, it's a play you hate to see as a running back. You get about a 17-yard gain, a 15-yard gain, and all that for
Practically all the way up to midfield, and it was a receiver downfield holding the guy. Was the problem. He kind of hooked the Jacks right into the collar and the jersey and wouldn't let him go.
So, like we said, a 2nd and 20 is the result as that pushes the Otters back to their own 20-yard line with 7:51 to play. And exactly, just when you thought they had the ball, 1st and 10 at their own 46, they're back at their own 20 now. And you say, yeah, it's a 10-yard penalty, but that's certainly a bit more devastating than that. They'll spread the field once again as they're now switching up their offense. Lone setback, and Brimhall's back to pass. They're not as much pressure. He guns the ball. He's got Timothy Erickson open on the side. He catches him at the 30. Knocked down. Actually, no, I thought it was going to be knocked out of bounds. A touchdown is going to be the result. It was Matt Hendricks back in coverage. I thought he would knock him out at about the 20-yard line, but unable to get his hands fully on. And the huge 80-yard touchdown pass to Timothy Erickson, and it's 20-7 all of a sudden, just when you thought the Jacks were doing some things well. An 80-yard touchdown pass.
That was a cannon.
That was so impressive.
You're talking best high school ball I may have ever seen. I'm not sure, but he hit him in stride. 50 yards in the air, no problem.
50 yards right through the air, yeah.
That was just a fabulous play by Brimhall.
And Timothy Erickson, a great job to catch the ball, and Matt Hendricks just unable to keep up in speed-wise and wasn't able to get the tackle. So again, it's going to be Luke Draxton on the extra point. Ball is down. This one looks to be wide to the left. It is no good, so it remains 20-7. We'll take another break. Jacks are right here on the Barton Sports.
In the gap, I think, in this ball game was the Jacks. I think they need to keep the ball on the ground and grind it out and have a very, very successful, long, time-killing drive.
That's exactly what the Jacks need right now, and you're right. Every time they've gone to the air, with the exception of that one pass to Miramanis along the right side, a nice 6-7 yard pickup on the play, everything else has not worked out very well. So again, it's going to be Luke Draxton on the kickoff. Miramanis fields it once again at his own goal line, and they're going to actually have a flag before the play, I believe. I think what happened there is Jamie Miramanis, as he caught the ball, went into the end zone, which is a touchback. Okay, so Jacks will take over on their own 20-yard line as the touchback gives them the ball here, 1st and 10. And absolutely, this is a case, I think, where the Jacks are going to have to keep the ball on the ground, keep things moving, just grind it out. They've done a great job, especially with Matt Hendricks going right up the middle, and that has been their success so far tonight. So again, they'll send 2 men wide to the right side. Hendricks and Webb obviously still feeling well enough and is still in the ballgame for the Jacks. Robbie Johnson again under center, and they will hand it off again up the middle. Matt Henderson across the 30, across out now to the 40-yard line. Nice 20-yard pickup. Matt Hendricks has done a great job running the ball, and a nice 20-yard pickup gives the Jacks first down at their own 40-yard line. That was an outside rear play again to the left side. Tremendous game there in the play. I don't know, has Mitch Webb carried the ball yet? He has carried the ball once for how many yards? Once for 1 yard. We get the report. So Matt Hendricks certainly has stepped things up. Again, Hendricks and Webb are the men deep, or men back in the backfield, 2 men wide to the left side, but it has been the Matt Hendricks show. They're going to run the option. Robbie Johnson saw something up the middle and gains about 5 yards out to the 45-yard line. We're going to run the option and pitch it out to Mitch Webb, but I think Robbie Johnson just saw an opening and gained about 4 yards on the play, brings up a 2nd down and 6. Yeah, to me too, that play seemed like it was pretty slow developing. I don't know what happened there, but the backs had a tough time getting out there, and Robbie Johnson decided he was going to get what he could. So Eddie Johnson now and Jamie Miramanis are wide to the right side. Henderson Webb again in the backfield with Robbie Johnson dropping under center. 2nd and just about 6 yards to go in the long snap count. They'll hand it off again, and Matt Hendricks right up the middle. He'll gain about 1.5 yards and end up turned around, skips it out to the 46-yard line. Outside rear play to the left side, and so far comes running off. He does not look like he is limping or anything, so maybe it's just fatigue. Again, Johnson and Miramanis wide to the right side. It's going to be Peterson and Hendricks in the backfield, and Peterson has looked very impressive at times as well so far this season. Again, handoff right up the middle to Matt Hendricks, who might have dropped the ball. Fumble on the play, and it's going to be Fergus Falls getting the recovery. 1st and 10, 49-yard line to Jackson. The 5th turnover so far in tonight's football game.
Well, it's a situation we hate to see. We've had, 3 already?
3 to their 2. Absolutely, Scott. That's just, it's going to kill any momentum the Jacks try and get, and it has so far.
Yeah, well, I mean, really, that's it. I mean, the interception happened right at midfield, and you're giving them a short field to work with. Last 3 drives have all gone to touchdowns through Fergus Falls.
So after starting off the game in an all-tight formation, they spread it wide again. Timothy Erickson might be trapped behind his own line of scrimmage, but a nice job to break it. That's about a 6-yard gain after Jimmy Miramanis comes over and knocks him out of bounds at the 44. But Timothy Erickson looked to be stopped back. Nice job by Jimmy Mack pursuing in the backfield, just prints up the sideline, gain 6 on the play.
He took a little stutter step, and Jimmy Mack thought he was going to have him about 5 yards deep, and he ends up getting about a 5-yard gain.
So second down and 5 here as they continue to move into Jack's territory. And at this point, when it just seemed as though you had to keep all 11 men in the box, now you have to respect Ben Brimhall's arm, which is just a rocket. One man wide to the right side. They'll hand it off up the middle. That's Brian Laramie. He'll gain first down yardage across the 35 and down now inside to about the 33-yard line. So nice another pickup here of about 9 yards on the play. And the 1st and 10 for the Fergus Falls Otters.
That's just a situation where the Otters offensive line doing just a super job of blocking, making some holes, and as a running back, Brian Laramie had just a great situation to run in that play.
So again, they'll send 1 man wide to the right side, 2-man backfield here for the Otters. Brimhall again drops under center. They'll hand it off out of the backfield. That's Chad Hoppin, and he'll break it down across the 20, now 10, inside the 10, down inside the 5, and knocked down at the 4-yard line. So another great run here for Fergus Falls, and they'll mark the ball right at the 4.5-yard line. They'll have it 1st and goal.
I think on that play I counted 3 missed tackles where they're just reaching their arms out trying to grab him, and Chad Hoppin was just too strong for that. They're not going to bring him down.
Clock continues to wind down now with 4:44 to play. 1st and goal for Fergus Falls as they already lead 20-7. And boy, I have to tell you, after an all-running game early, the pass is certainly a factor for Fergus, and still running the ball very well. And this time we'll hand it off the left side. Brian Laramie gets down and in for the touchdown. A flag on the play. We might have a face mask penalty upcoming, but boy, I tell you, you hand it off to Brian Laramie, goes off the left side and just kind of once again marches in for the touchdown virtually untouched.
I tell you what, we've also got a dead ball personal foul. Looked like on the Lumberjacks. Probably a lot of frustration after the touchdown there, and the official threw the flag in the end zone.
So we might have 2 penalties. We'll have to wait and see what the official word is from the officials. And so with 4:27 to go, that would make it 26-7. But we'll wait and see. Face mask is the first indication on the Jacks, and doesn't look like maybe they don't have. The touchdown is going to count, but they're still conferring with Timothy Erickson, one of the captains for Fergus Falls. Maybe that would be on the personal foul.
Isn't that penalized on the kickoff?
Yes, it should be. Well, 26-7 is your score. We're not on the 4:27 to play in the second quarter. Still some discussion, and actually they're going to mark it half the distance to the goal line, and they'll get the opportunity. I would assume they'll go for 2 here on this opportunity. And it is going to be that personal foul, but
it had to almost be a live ball personal foul. Otherwise, it's penalized on the kickoff.
Well, I guess maybe they call him the personal foul on the face, the 15-yard personal foul face mask during the play. I I think. And I think it was probably just that's the only call that he signaled, right?
He did do a personal foul, so there were two separate penalties because face masking is 15 yards actually regardless here in the high school sport. So I guess maybe the distance on the two-point try, then I think that's all we're going to see out of it. Well, they will try for two, and Ben Brimhall again drops under center. They'll go back to that tight formation that they were very successful at very early in the ball game. Brimhall is going to call timeout now.
We'll take a break. It's hard for the officials to call. You basically have just a big pile of kids, and you're guessing where he ended up, and for our sake, it wasn't extra point.
So the score remains 26-7, 4:27 to play in the second quarter. We'll take another quick break as you're listening to Scott Williams back at Chet Anderson Stadium, ready for the kickoff here as Fergus Falls leads as we mentioned 26-7. And once again, the kickoff going very deep fielded, going to be into the end zone, so the touchback upcoming. And Jackson take over first and 10 on their own 20-yard line. A very, very impressive grade for Luke Draxton. Coming up this week on the run tomorrow night, first of all, we'll get things started with the hockey show. It's made its debut last weekend before the game the Jacks had against Stevens Point of Wisconsin. We'll talk to head coach Bob Peters of Bemidji State, Craig Dahl of St. Moni.
It's going to take him a few minutes here because they don't have a stretcher for him.
Football from ESPN, Kansas City at Baltimore. It's underway at 7 immediately after Vikings midweek. Robbie Johnson under center here for the Jacks. Two-man backfield with one man wide to either side. Long snap count again. I'm surprised that was not an offsides. It looked as though somebody jumped for the Jacks, but once again they go right up the middle. A gain of a couple of yards, maybe 3 yards. Once again, that's Mitch Webb gets his second carry of the evening. About 2.5-yard gain, brings up 2nd and 7.
Outside group play to the left side, and something that kind of concerns me a little bit about the Lumberjacks is there are no linemen getting downfield, and with this offense, you have to have that happen.
So they'll go again with the split high formation, and actually it's Mitch Webb and Kurt Etchison in the backfield. They'll hand it off to Etchison. He'll get across the 25, and grinding his legs, gets out to about the 27-yard line. So nice pickup by Kurt Etchison. So interesting to see what happened to Matt Hendricks, if he's a bit winded or if he got himself injured. He's just standing on the sidelines, so it must be just a temporary situation to give him a bit of a breather.
Yeah, he's also been on a lot of the defensive series too, so we talked earlier about two-way players. He needs a break.
So Mitch Webb and Kurt Etchison in the backfield. One man wide to the left side. That's James Peterson for the Jacks. Long snap down again by Robbie Johnson. He'll hand it off to Webb up the middle. He'll gain a fumble. Did he fumble the ball on the play? No, he'll keep it out to about the 29-yard line. Looks to be about a yard shy. And brings up fourth and about a yard.
And I think we're going to end up going for it here the way it looks. Crawford went down to Hendricks and just to see if he wanted to punt the ball. It doesn't look like we're going to.
It's one of those situations for the Jacks where they need to get something started, and soon as they're down by 3 touchdowns here with 2:45 to play in the opening quarter. And this is certainly an opportunity where they've been running the ball so successfully to just pick up an additional yard. Split eye formation again. They'll have Robbie Johnson keep it. He'll gain the first down out across the 30-yard line. It's out across the 35 to the 36. So a nice sneak of 7 yards as he just, once again, the Jacks did a great job. Fergus having a horrible time bringing him down after the initial contact.
It's just that quarterback option. Mitch Webb, Kurt Etchison doing a nice job of leading up the hole, and Robbie Johnson is just going to take the football and follow him, reading their blocks.
And the Jacks are very shedding tackles so far.
They're very tender.
Fergus just not able to really bring anybody down. 2 men wide to the left side with, again, the 2-man backfield, Etchison and Webb. Robbie Johnson dropping under center, looks to pass. He's got a man across the middle. That's Eddie Johnson. Picked up a few yards out to about the 43-yard line. Second down
down in about 4. That was a nice play by Eddie Johnson and also Robbie Johnson to get the football to him, but Eddie Johnson to hold on to the ball, he just got nailed as soon as he caught it. So
yeah, he was going down as he caught it and got hit from behind. So nice job, yes, by Eddie Johnson on the reception. Brings up that 2nd and 4 after a gain of 6. 2 men wide to the right side as they're in tight formation. That's Miramanis and Johnson. Again, Hendricks traps him and Mitch Webb in the backfield. Robbie Johnson again looking to pass. He's got Johnson open, caught down about the 40-yard line. Nice play as Eddie Johnson gets his second pass, and the Jacks will have it 1st and 10 inside Fergus Falls territory at the 41-yard line.
Tell you what, that's a great call by Troy Hendricks on that play. Just did an X route where you're hoping to pick off one of the defensive backs, and it ended up working so you can get open.
So now inside a minute and a half to play in the opening quarter. They'll send one man wide to either side as they look to do this quickly before halftime. And I thought once again somebody jumped off sides and passed out to Miramanis just off the fingertips. I thought it was Eddie Johnson here on the near side who broke a bit early, but no flag on the play after the incomplete pass brings up the 2nd and 10.
Yeah, the Lumberjacks are in what they call their 2-minute offense or hurry-up offense. We've got 3 timeouts left, but with a minute 17, you're trying to get some points on the board here by hurrying up the play.
So it is 26-7. We're down to a minute 17 after the clock stops with that drop pass. James Peterson and Eddie Johnson, the wide receivers, and again it's Webb and Hendricks in the backfield. Robbie Johnson again under center. They'll hand it off to Hendricks up the middle. He's got good yardage across the 35, across the 30, down to the 25-yard line, and knocked out of bounds at the 24-yard line. So a nice pickup there by Matt Hendricks. Gives the first down, gets out of bounds. So with a minute 9 to go, they still have the life here in the second quarter.
That was a cut play again, and he's just reading the blocks of the linemen and did a nice job of scooting outside and getting a big gain, but also getting out of bounds.
So this time Miramanis checks in for James Peterson. Like I said, we're in a minute and 9 to play in the second quarter, and Jack's doing a very, very good job here in this hurry-up offense. It's Johnson and Miramanis wide to the right side, back to Webb and Hendricks in the backfield. Robbie Johnson again dropping under center, gets to take a little bit more time. Pass coming on the play. Miramanis tipped. Going to be picked off by number 5, Timothy Erickson. They'll have it about the 20-yard line. Finally gets a couple of blocks out across the 30. That was going to be a flag on the play, and he's going to be finally knocked down just shy of the 40-yard line. Nice return on the play by Timothy Erickson after Miramanis tipped the ball as it was thrown a bit high, but probably going to be a holding on the return by Fergus Falls. But of course, the big story is yet another turnover, the 4th turnover for the Jacks tonight, and just stops a very potentially big drive for the Jacks.
Yeah, it's a situation where the ball was thrown up high. I think it was Eddie Johnson. He got his hands up on the ball, but wasn't able to bring it down. It stayed up in the air for a long time and allowed him to get the interception.
The penalty is going to be spotted at the 29-yard line, so Fergus will be marked 10 yards back from there, and they'll have it 1st and 10 on their own 19-yard line with 52 seconds to play. And actually, they're going to mark it all the way back at the 15-yard line, so a big penalty there for Fergus Falls. Now a long distance to go, but with a guy who can throw the ball 50 yards in the air, certainly nothing is beyond the reach here before halftime.
Well, plus they have 2 timeouts left, so if they can get a big gain, they can use the timeout, stop the clock.
So once again, they go with that tight formation, and Ben Brimhall under center, and he'll hand it off straight up the middle. Once again, that's Dave Karst. He gains good yardage out to about the 23-yard line, so they come up a couple of yards shy of the first down. That brings up a 2nd and about 2.
Yeah, the thing that surprised me, too, is they're letting the clock run. They may just be happy with a 26-7 lead and not try to do something where the Lumberjacks can get some quick points on the board.
So as the clock continues to wind down, we're now down to 25 seconds to play in the first half. 26-7 is the Fergus Falls lead. Right now, again, they go with that tight formation. They'll just have one play left unless they call the timeout. Brimhall again under center, and he's going to fake the pass, handed off up the middle to Chad Hoppin, and he'll gain good yardage out to about the 30-yard line. And with 4 seconds to play, they'll stop the clock briefly to reset the chains. There were 3 seconds to go, and actually that should be the last play of the evening, of the first half.
And I think the Otters got lucky there. Hoppinen was hit as he was carrying the ball, and it knocked the ball loose, so it was on his hip, and he almost fumbled the ball. Could have put us in a situation to get maybe a field goal.
And as the clock winds down, as they reset the chains, we're now at halftime. Your halftime score, as we said, 26-7. Formation, they'll hand it off up the middle, and not much yardage, a couple of yards on the carry, as looks as though Larrabee again gets the ball, no matter what they do. If they're in this tight formation, if they send it wide, once again a 50-yard through-the-air pass, which ended up being an 80-yard touchdown. Blitz on the play, on the counter, and it's going to be Jack stopping them back behind the line of scrimmage. They'll lose maybe a yard on the play, as they ended up giving the ball on the play to Timothy Erickson. Actually, Bernhall kept the ball that time, and he'll be driven back to the 25-yard line, so a loss of 2 brings up 3rd and 9.
Yeah, we sent our 2 inside backers into the A gap, which is between the guard and center, and there was nothing for Brimhall to do but just hold onto the ball and hopefully not fumble.
So they'll go back to that wide formation for Fergus Falls, one man wide to either side. That's Erickson, and off to the right side, it's Titus Christensen. It's going to be Bringhall fading back to pass. He's got Christensen open, caught the ball. Looks to be maybe about a half-yard shy, as he'll get down to about the 20 or 34-yard line, but could be about a half-yard shy of the first down. Brings up a 4th down and about a half-yard for the Otters.
Tell you what, that was just a tremendous catch there by Titus Christensen. He was going inside, the ball was thrown behind him. He just reached his arms up there and was barely able to bring the ball in, but still I think they're going to be a little bit short here.
From our perspective, it looks to be maybe a half-yard short, but they will officially measure on the play. We'll have to wait and see. Indication is that they're going to be even less than I thought short. Looks like they're going to be maybe 2 lengths of the chain short here coming on the upcoming 4th down. And yeah, it looks like just maybe 4 or 5 lengths of the chain is the difference between the first down and just coming up shy.
It's kind of a dangerous situation here, don't you think, for Fergus Falls? If they go for it, if they don't get it, you're leaving Bemidji with some life in the the football game. And what's it hurt even if you punt the ball away? Your defense has been pretty successful all night. Keep your 21-point lead. Hey, I'm not a coach.
I would have to agree with you on that as well. You don't hurt much by kicking the ball, because if you do get tackled back behind the line of scrimmage, they're going to take a timeout. Brimhall wants to take time and think about it. We'll take a break as well as we continue with Jacks here on the Bun Sports Radio 1450 KBUN in the Jacks' favor. Again, the other thing you have to think is that Brimhall is the kicker, so you never know if he might take a step back and make kind of a pooch kick, but doesn't look like he'll do that as he is deep. They'll keep the quarterback sneak. I don't think they got it. Nice penetration by the Jacks. It's going to be very, very close.
I think he got up to the 35 from where they're spotting it anyways.
They are going to give him the first down, as they're going to say he got over the 35. I don't know about that placement. It was certainly a great job by the defense. They only, giving him the first down, that's all they gained was the 6 inches that they needed to get the first down. And so 1st and 10, they're going to give it out on the 35-yard line.
Yeah, he just took the ball on the snap and tried to follow those linemen that have done just such a great job all night for him.
Again, they'll spread the offense here. It's Titus Christensen and Chad Hoppenden wide to the left side. Again, Brimhall under center with the lone setback this time. He'll do the play action. Great penetration on the play. That's Larry Robertson. Takes him down back behind the ball, back behind the line of scrimmage, and almost breaks free, but lost of 2 yards on the play. Great penetration by Larry Robertson to stop that play before it even got started.
Yeah, that was he was going to fake throw it out to the 2 wideouts on the left side. They just ran a draw play, and Larry Robertson wasn't fooled at all.
So make a second down and about 12 yards to go here as the clock continues to wind down. 7:25 to play in the third quarter. Fergus continues to enjoy a 26-7 lead. They'll send one man wide to either side. And again, Brimhall under center. He'll once again go with the play action pass. He's got a man over the middle, caught by Timothy Erickson, across the 50-yard line, knocked down finally at about the 43. And once again, Brimhall and Erickson hook up. Great job on the two of them have done all evening long. And the market at the 44, but a great job by Brimhall and Erickson to get together.
That was just a deeper slant route at about 13 yards. He cut hard inside into the field and had a couple steps on the defender and made a great catch, enough for a first down.
I can't say enough about Brimhall's arm, too. I mean, he throws that thing right from barely behind his ear and just snaps it over the middle. He's thrown more than a couple balls like that tonight. He's very impressive.
Very, very impressive quarterback, and as a senior, he's going to have a couple of options probably to play some more ball next year, and he certainly deserves every opportunity that he gets. So they go again with that tight formation. Brimhall drops under center. Again, they'll run a bit of a play-action pass. Brimhall again with the big pass. It's going to be thrown down all the way to about the 10-yard line and picked off. It was picked off. A great job in coverage by Josh Smith. The ball bounced around. That was number 82, Jacob Drevlow, deep, the intended receiver, and it bounced off, I think it bounced off his helmet, and Josh Smith comes up with the interception.
Hey, that just shows you his arm strength there. He threw off his back foot, and he still threw the ball almost 40 yards.
That should have been caught.
Yeah. It was thrown perfectly. If anything, I think it bounced off of his helmet. So the big opportunity here for the Jacks. They'll take over on their own 8-yard line, so they'll have a ways to go, but they'll send 2 men wide to the left side and hand it off again straight up the middle. And another good job. That time it was Mitch Webb on the carries. He'll get out to about the 13-yard line, so pick up 5, and the 2nd and 5 coming for the Jacks.
That's a good carry.
And he hurt himself.
I was just going to say, it's good to see Mitch Webb get a nice game. And
he wants to stay in. He went back into the huddle, but Webb comes off, and he definitely having some more problems with that knee, which has been bothering him for about 3 weeks, and he is not happy. as he comes off. So make that Etchison and Hendricks again now in the backfield. And boy, I got to tell you, that certainly hurts. Johnson fades back to pass. He's got a man over the middle. That's Eddie Johnson, picked up at the 25-yard line, finally brought down. And once again, he broke a couple of tackles before the Otters able to bring him down. And first down here for the Jacks on a nice reception by Eddie Johnson.
I tell you what, Eddie Johnson's really came on here about the last 4 games. He's turned into definitely Robbie Johnson's #1 target, and he's made some great grabs.
First and 10 as they get out to the 25-yard line. We're down to 5:35 to play. 26-7 still the score, with Fergus Falls leading the Bemidji Lumberjacks. Again, they'll send Eddie Johnson and Jamie Miramanis wide to the left side with a 2-man backfield. Robbie Johnson under center with Johnson in motion. They'll hand it off again straight up the middle. Nice job. Kind of bounces it to the outside. That's Matt Hendricks across the 30-yard line. He'll get out to the 32. Nice pickup of about 7 yards on the play. Brings up a second down and about 3 yards to go.
And that's been our bread and butter all year, that outside veer play to the right side. Matt Hendricks now, I think you'll see him just take over.
So, like we said, the second down and about 3 yards to go. They'll send 2-man wide to the left side this time. Again, it's Johnson under center with Hendricks and Etchison in the backfield. They'll hand it off to Hendricks straight up the middle again. He'll gain first down yardage across the 35. Mark it at the 37. That's Eddie Johnson and Jamie Miramanis. They'll send Etchison. 45-yard line. Another nice pickup of about 7 yards, and 2nd and 3 upcoming for the Bemidji Lumberjacks.
And that was an inside veer play to the right side. Matt Hendricks took the dive on the handoff between the center guard and did a nice job of making some good yardage.
And again, Scott, just when you say the Jacks need a time-consuming, lengthy drive, they're getting exactly what they need.
Bingo, eh?
James Peterson and Eddie Johnson to the left side. They'll hand it off again straight up the middle. Matt Hendricks out across the 50 down to the 45-yard line. Pickup of just shy of 10 yards on the play. First down for the Bemidji Lumberjacks.
Well, and it's no secret, too, that they keep going up the gut and up the gut, but it's getting that 4 or 5 yards on first down, which is really the key. You never want to get into a 3rd and long situation. If you get a big chunk on first down, you don't have to worry about it.
And that's what the Jacks have been doing very, very well. Have to play. The Jacks, again, here have it 1st and 10. They call the timeout. And New York, game time is 6:30. You'll hear it all right here on the bun. Again, the Jacks have the ball. Peterson wide to the left side with the split eye formation. The play-action pass to Hendricks, pass over the middle. Ryan Johnson gets it down to close to first down yardage before he's hauled out of bounds. They'll mark it at about the 37-yard line. And a nice pass play that time to Ryan Johnson right across the middle. He'll breaks it out to the outside and knocked out of bounds. And 2nd down and about 3 upcoming for the Jacks.
Yeah, that's a nice play for the Lumberjacks there. It's a play-action pass. Robbie Johnson's going to roll out to the left side, and Ryan Johnson is going to block for a count and then release out to the outside to the flat, and it was wide open.
So they'll send Miramanis wide to the right side, and once again, the 2-man backfield with Etchison and Hendricks. Robbie Johnson dropping under center. Long snap count once again, and handoff up the middle. This time Etchison gets it. He's across the 30 down to about the 25-yard line. They'll mark it about the 24-yard line. Pick up the first down on a nice run by Kurt Etchison on the evening. About looks to be about a 16-yard pickup.
Yeah, outside veer play to the right side, and that play has worked for us all night long as far as giving the ball to the dive back. They're definitely really worried about allowing us to get outside, and that normally turns into a big game.
1st and 10 for the Jacks. They'll mark the ball just on about the 24-yard line. 2 men wide to the left side this time with the split eye formation. Robbie Johnson again here under center for the Jacks. They'll run a little bit of a pass play off to the right side. Miramanis, the intended receiver, down at about the 14-yard line, but overthrown a bit and unable to catch it out of bounds. Miramanis, so bring up a 2nd and 10 for the Jacks.
Yeah, that's just what they call a 119 pass, where the line is going to just slide, step to the left side, and Robbie Johnson's going to get the ball and go out to the left side and throw the ball on the run. It's a timing pattern again. 2:57
to play in the 3rd quarter. Jacks trail 26-7, but a very, very productive effective and very good drive to start off the second quarter, or the second half here for the Jacks. Miramanis again to the right side. Etchison and Hendricks in the backfield. Again, they'll hand it off to Etchison. He's got good yardage across the 20, in down to the 15-yard line. Looks like he dropped his knee back at the 16, so that's where they'll mark it. But another good pickup for Kurt Etchison down to about the 16-yard line, a 9-yard pickup.
Outside veer play to the right side, and Kurt Etchison's really coming on here in this third quarter.
He really made his debut against Thief River Falls, and now we have a flag thrown.
It's on Fergus Falls head coach, I think.
Really? Well, he was not happy with something, and here with third down and what should be 2 yards, they'll mark off 15 on a unsportsmanlike conduct play, I would assume. Mark off 15 yards, or is that going to be a half the distance to the goal?
Yeah, first and goal. I think you're going to set up here.
First and goal, they'll get the ball at the 9-yard line as it goes half the distance to the goal. And, boy, when you start back at your own 8-yard line, you've marched. This has not been a big play drive. This has been grinding it out mostly up the middle, a couple of pass plays, a couple of just nice runs as well. Kurt Etchison and Matt Hendricks both with good runs. And now they're down inside Fergus's own 10-yard line with 2:36 still to play. First and goal. Once again, one man wide to the right side. That's Jamie Miramanis. Etchison and Hendricks in the backfield. They're on the right hash mark, so they got plenty of room off the left end of the ball. Robbie Johnson takes it to the right side, hand off to Etchison. He'll get down to about the 6-yard line as second and goal upcoming for the Jacks.
Outside veer play again, and Kurt Etchison's really came on this third quarter running that outside veer as the dive back, and that time only about a 2-yard gain, but before that he's been getting some big gains.
So the Jacks here threatening as we hit the 2-minute mark of the third quarter. 26-7, Fergus Falls with the lead. They'll send James Peterson wide to the left side, and no men off to the right. Split eye formation with Etchison and Hendricks, and play action pass. Robbie Johnson looking to get something out of this play that looks to be broken. They'll get inside the 5-yard line down to about the 4. So it looks as though Robbie Johnson able to pick up a few yards on the play despite unable to find a receiver. And third and goal upcoming from the 4-yard line.
Tell you what, that was a heads-up play by Robbie Johnson. Looked like he might even get sacked in the backfield. Scrambled for his life and got down. Did they mark it at the 2, I think?
They marked it at the 3, actually. So, actually, no, that is going to be the 2-yard line. So, more yards even than I thought for Robbie Johnson. And Miramanis is going to go wide to the right side this time. The split eye formation for the Jacks. Etchison and Hendricks again in the backfield. Johnson's going to keep it, and he's going to be tackled back behind the line of scrimmage. So that'll bring up a 4th down and goal. Give him no gain on the play. And Jacks are going to have to go for it if they want to get back into the football game.
Yeah, the field goal doesn't help them. Even scoring a touchdown here, the Jacks are still going to be down 2 scores. And with the offense that we have, it's not very good to come back on.
They'll give them a loss of 2 yards on the play, so it'll be 4th and goal from the 4-yard line. But exactly third quarter, if they want to even attempt to salvage this game, they'll send 2 men wide to the right side. That's Etchison, Johnson, and Peterson make that. Etchison and Hendricks in the split eye formation in the backfield. Robbie Johnson drops under center. He's got a man open. That's Peterson in the corner of the end zone and overthrown out of bounds. So I was going to say Stevens Point. Fergus Falls takes over on downs on the incomplete pass. Just a bit overthrown. Eddie Johnson was able to shake free, and if he could have been just a little bit shorter of a pass, he might have been able to pull that one in.
And it's tough on your offense, too. You've got a good drive going. It's eating up a lot of the clock, but you hate to see where you come up empty.
So Fergus Falls takes over 1st and 10. There's still 13 seconds to play in the third quarter. I mean, they marched 94 yards on that play, not able to hit pay dirt. So a bit of a disappointment. They'll send 1 man wide to the left side. Fergus will. They'll hand it off straight up the gut. Gets no yardage on the play. As I believe that's going to be Brian Laird Larrabee on the carry, gets back to the 4-yard line, and that'll bring us down to the end of the third quarter. We'll take a break and get your fourth quarter action here on the Bone Sports Radio, 1450 KBUN.
UNM Pro certified technicians and
touchdown drive, which they started on the 9-yard line. Wow, they're going to need a lucky streak here on defense to come back into this game.
Yeah, so Fergus Falls will spread the offense as they take over at their own 5-yard line, 2nd and 10, and we're going to get an offsides called here before the snap, and I think it's going to be against the Jacks.
Well, the Jacks are clapping now.
So maybe it will be against Fergus Falls. That would be a half the distance to the goal penalty. Although it is going to be against Fergus Falls, so make it a second down and 12 and a half. Those pushing further deep. Now, a safety would be a good thing here. We'd like to see that.
There you go. Then you get some decent field position.
Yeah.
I think you just got to stuff and run here, and hopefully your corners can cover. Force a punt situation.
So Timothy Erickson again wide to the right side for Fergus Falls. They have 2 men deep, and Ben Brimhall again with the rocket of an arm goes straight up the middle on the sneak. He just keeps going out across the 5 to maybe about the 6-yard line. They'll bring up a third down at about 9.
There are 6 lumberjacks on that tackle.
Just trying to get some distance between himself, between the line of scrimmage and the goal line, and picks up a nice chunk of real estate out to the 6-yard line. Once again, 3rd and 9 upcoming. So with 11:27 to play in the final period of play, the Fergus Falls sends 2 wide to the right side. Then Brimhall drops under center with a lone setback. He'll fade back to pass. He almost thrown a bit shy of Timothy Erickson, who would have caught the ball out at about the 10-yard line. So big defensive stop despite the big sneak by Brimhall. And 4th and 9 upcoming. They're going to be forced to punt from deep in their own territory.
Yeah, they're basically going to be right back by the end line of the goal line. Normally they go back about 14, 15 yards. You punt it at about 12. We'd like to see a back snap here, of course. Try to give us a safety to at least get some momentum built up for the Lumberjacks.
If I'm not mistaken, this is just the second punt for the Fergus Falls Otters, and Ben Brimhall, the quarterback, is also the punter. It wasn't incredibly impressive on his first effort. And certainly an opportunity for the Jacks to try and amend for their disappointment of not being able to get the ball into the end zone from the 4-yard line. So Brimhall deep for the kick. Matt Hendricks is in coverage for the Jacks. Stands at about the 45-yard line. They're going to fake, pass over the middle, across, they catch it, and gets out of bounds. That's number 85 on the play, Charlie Steinhardt, or Schoenhardt. He'll get out to the 12-yard line, and just when you thought, boy, the Jacks had every opportunity to fake a punt and get completion, they do it fairly successfully and get the first down.
And the thing was, we would have blocked that punt again.
Yeah, that's it. I think maybe they're just punt coverage, just isn't that good. That's the only option that they had. Obviously that was planned, but I still think that's risky. Planning something like that in your own end zone.
Tight formation again for the Fergus Falls Otters, and they'll hand it off straight up the guts. And again, that's going to be Brian Larrabee. He gets maybe a yard out to the 13-yard line and brings up a second down and about 9 to go here in the fourth quarter.
The other thing that the Fergus Falls coaches could have been thinking is, let's be safe. If there's a bad snap, let's give them a safety, but let's not give them a touchdown with a bad snap or a block punt, which can really put them back into the game, plus we'll get the ball again.
It's interesting to see that Fergus Falls is so strong in so many areas. They have a great kicking game, but then Brimhall, the quarterback/punter, really just not only not doing a good job back in punt formation, but also the line just cannot hold. And just kind of a note here, we've seen Mitch Webb off on the sideline. He's got ice taped to his knee, so he is certainly done for the evening. And we can just hope that it isn't so bad that he won't be able to play next week. It's Ben Brimhall, the quarterback, apparently backing up. Arneson, who unavailable because he injured himself in PE class, and the Jacks have certainly had those injuries all season long as well. I formation here for Fergus Falls, the quarterback keeper. That's going to be Brimhall. Gets out across the 20-yard line, will be hauled down at about the 24, and brings up a third down and about 4 yards to go.
That was just a fake drop play. Brimhall just does a great job of faking with the football, and it's taken our guys a long time to see the play develop after a while, and by that time he's already got a 6-yard gain.
So that third and about 4 upcoming here as we're inside 9.5 minutes to play in the fourth quarter. Jacks need another defensive stop here. Tight formation for Fergus Falls. Ben Brimhall again drops under center and almost jumped off sides again, and now we will throw the flag. Jimmy Mack throws Ben Brimhall to the ground. Actually, that was Chad Hoppinen. Was thrown to the ground by Jimmy Mack after the whistle, but no penalty is going to be called. They're going to call the offsides against the Jacks, and that'll give Fergus the first down out to about the 29-yard line.
You'll see some frustration by the Lumberjacks here. You're down 19 points. You need 3 scores to get back into this, and about the last 6 drives, we haven't done really much to stop them, and defensively you get really frustrated.
And the crowd is starting to thin a bit here with 9:18 to play in the fourth quarter. Just one of those seasons for the Jacks, just the one win at home against Minnetonka, and this doesn't look like it's going to amount to much tonight either. And the crowd certainly taking the lead. Hopping in again, going to get the ball right up the middle, gain of about 6 yards to get out to about the 35-yard line as he went off the left side. And another 2nd and 4 upcoming for the Otters.
That's that wing-back counter that they've been really successful on all night. The wing from the right side came in off of the counter play, and just a super gain on first down.
They'll actually mark it out at the 36-yard line, so a 2nd and 3 here for Fergus Falls. And again, we go with that tight formation. I would assume they'll keep it for the most part on the ground from here on out, just keep the clock running. Again, they'll run a couple of different fakes before handing it off straight up the middle to Brian Larrabee. He'll gain maybe a yard out to the 37 before he's finally brought down. And third down and about 2 upcoming for Fergus Falls.
I think they're going to stick with this play, that slot counter, wing counter, where they've been having a lot of success with it. They're going to keep the ball on the ground here, try to use up as much of the clock as they can, and if possible, get a score out of it too.
Third down and 2 for the Fergus Falls Otters, and as the clock continues to move, 26-7 the score. In case you're just joining us, they this time will send one man wide to the right side, and Brimhall again drops under center, 2-man backfield. They'll hand it off straight up the middle. They'll break a couple of tackles. Now gets across the 50, now down to the 30-yard line, and finally hauled down. A nice run there by Brian Larrabee, as once he got through the line, nobody back to in coverage, and first down and 10 to go here into Jacks territory at the 30-yard line.
That was just a straight dive play, and he got tripped up as he crossed through that second level of our defense, and as soon as he got back on his feet, he's got some good speed.
So first and 10 as they're inside Jacks territory, and once again they'll send one man wide to the left side. It's Titus Christensen. Ben Brimhall again under center with 2 men in the backfield, which we haven't seen a whole lot tonight. Brimhall again is going to hand it off, just a straight dive play once again, and it's going to be to Hoppinen straight up the middle. He'll gain maybe about a half yard down to about the 29-yard line.
Tell you what, I'm definitely seeing the Lumberjacks getting frustrated here. You're seeing where some of the Lumberjack players are grabbing each other to get off the pile. There's probably a lot of talking going on. The big thing you don't want to have happen is if a player gets thrown out of the game, I believe they sit out either the first half of the next game or even the next game altogether.
Well, we certainly wouldn't want that with the playoffs starting next Tuesday. Looks as though the Jacks will head to Moorhead to take on the Spuds. Now down inside 6.5 to play in the final quarter, and Jacks jump off sides, but they're not going to call it. They'll hand it off to Larrabee, and he'll lose a yard on the play, and they'll mark the ball on the 30-yard line. And that's I've seen a couple of times where it looks as though people have jumped off sides, and no call, but hey, bring up 3rd down and 10 as they mark it back on the 30-yard line.
Tell you what, Andy Bronzik for the Lumberjacks really came up and just laid down his shoulder and knocked Grimhall down right at the line of scrimmage. Is a great play.
3rd and 10, once again, Grimhall under center. They'll send 2 men wide to the left side. That's Erickson and Titus Christensen again. The lone setback for the Otters. Grimhall with the long snap count. He'll fade back to pass. He is lots of coverage. Jacks in good pursuit. Mike Crawford, one of the men in pursuit, finally finds a man that's hopping in. He'll catch the ball, but only gains about 5 yards. Brings up 4th and 5 as he's knocked out of bounds at about the 25-yard line.
Tell you what, Chad Hoffman did just what you tell the receivers to do. When you see your quarterback getting into trouble, you get down into the flats and you just keep going downfield, and did a great job of finding an open area and getting a great gain off. Could have been about a 40-yard loss.
So 5:36 to play. No reason to assume that Fergus Falls would punt down at the 25-yard line. They're more interested in running out the clock at this point, maybe trying to get another 1st down and pop it into the end zone, but I think they would be content with even turning the ball over at this point. 2 men wide to the left side. A little setback again in the backfield with Brian Grimhall under center. Ben Grimhall. Ben takes the snap. The throw across the middle is going to go incomplete, so they'll turn over the ball on downs with 5.5 to play, and the Jacks will get another opportunity and win this football offense. They'll go with Etchison and Hendricks in the backfield as Mitch Webb again knocked out with injury tonight. He has ice on the knee and is on the sideline. One wide receiver to either side for the Jacks. Again, Robbie Johnson fades back to pass. This time he's got Miramontes. Actually, it was tipped at the line of scrimmage. Intended receiver was Tony Hansen, and ball tipped and falls harmlessly right at about the 30-yard line.
Tell you what, that's the 2nd time in this game that Brian Larrabee has done a nice job of knocking the football down by just reaching his hand up, and the ball was almost picked off because it was knocked high enough off the hand that they could get underneath the ball.
Pass defense by Fergus Falls has been spectacular tonight. Run defense has been not quite as good, but still effective. Robbie Johnson again under center with Etchison and Hendrickson. Again, they go to the air. Nice pass out to Eddie Johnson. He'll get out to about the 30-yard line where he drops a knee at the 31 to bring up a 3rd down at about 4. And Jackson once again have an opportunity for another 1st down opportunity.
Yeah, we went back to that bread and butter play that we have in the past, the hitch route, getting about 7 yards downfield, stopping, coming back to the football, again with the timing pattern.
So this time they'll send just one wide receiver to the right side. That's James Peterson. Again, Etchison and Hendricks continue to work in the backfield. Robbie Johnson dropping under center. Long snap count again. They'll hand it off straight up the gut. That's Etchison, and he'll get out across the 35-yard line down to the 37. 1st down coming for the Jacks. Actually marked it out at the 38-yard line. So again, Etchison continues to produce here late in the ballgame.
And that's a good sign to see if, depending upon what's going to be the situation with Mitch Webb, if he can't go, Kurt Etchison is going to have to pick up the load for the Lumberjacks along with Matt Hendricks.
Eddie Johnson and James Peterson, the wide receivers, one to either side, split eye formation with Hendricks and Etchison in the backfield. Again, the pass over the middle and tipped just before it got to Tony Hansen's hands and sort of fall incomplete. Almost picked off by a Fergus Falls defender who was laying down on the play, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, that was just a tight end pop pass where as soon as the ball snapped, the tight end's doing an outside release trying to get down the middle of the field, and Robbie Johnson, as soon as he sees a carry, is going to try to get him the football.
26-7 to score, 4.5 to play in the final quarter. 2 men wide to the left side. It's Johnson and Miramontes with eye formation with Hendricks and Etchison again in the backfield. They'll send Eddie Johnson in motion. Again, Robbie Johnson drops back to pass, and he'll be sacked back behind the line of scrimmage. The struggles gets back close to the line of scrimmage, but again, no gain. Brings up a 3rd down and 10 for the Lumberjacks.
The offensive line for the Lumberjacks just had a little bit of of a letdown. As soon as he got back to set up, there was a guy already in there for the Otters and had to go up into the pocket, and I think it was number 70 that ended up sacking.
And Scott, I'm very surprised that the Jags have gone away from what has been very successful to run.
Well, I think they're trying to maybe get a quick pass and maybe get a touchdown out of it. Maybe one guy breaks the tackle off the pass and see if they can turn some late momentum around here.
Johnson again looks to pass and right through the hands of James Peterson. Incomplete, brings up 4th down and 10 for the Lumberjacks. So, yeah, I mean, you could think going for the quick score, but at this point, I would think confidence-wise, you'd want to have a nice, another long, sustained drive and just get the kids excited that they can move the football against a very good defense.
I mean, do you want to pound it with your running backs knowing you already got one injured and then going into the playoffs? Do you want to take a chance of the other two guys getting banged up, too?
No. And so Eddie Johnson and Jimmy Miramanis are your wide receivers, one to either side, split eye formation again, and Robbie Johnson going to drop back to pass. He'll be sacked back behind the line of scrimmage, and he'll cough up the football. Recovered by Fergus Falls at the Jacks 31 by number 6. Again, that's Chad Hoffman, and they'll take over with 3:37 to play and shouldn't have any trouble grinding this out and wearing down the clock.
Highway 71. Yeah, the corner there, Chad Hoffman, was out this wide receiver, snuck in and blitzed from the outside. It's a play that you hate to see because as Robbie Johnson was setting up to throw the ball, he got hit with his blind side, and that a lot of times can get you an injury because you just don't see it coming.
So Fergus Falls will take over and they'll go with a tight formation with one man wide to the left side. Once again, they'll hand it off straight up the gut. That's Hoppinen, who gets rewarded for his fumble recovery, gets it down to about the 24-yard line, and a nice pickup of 7 yards brings up a 2nd down and 3.
Yeah, I think you're going to see him run the clock out. I don't know if you're going to see us use our timeouts here. We just want to get the game done here in this situation.
26-7, 3:10 to play as the clock continues to wind down. A 2nd down and 3 upcoming for the Fergus Falls Honors. They'll send one man wide to the left side. That's Erickson, Timothy Erickson, who had that 80-yard touchdown reception earlier in the football game. The 2-man backfield again. And Brimhall again under center. They'll hand it off straight up the gut. That's another player who has just checked in, number 36, which is Brandon Oslin for the Otters. Nice carry.
Again, I just hand the football off. One back through on a dive play. And, I think they're in 3rd down, but they're bringing in a whole new set of people here.
So 3rd down at about a yard. And so I don't know what is going on with that, but yeah, they do change a whole bunch of players. 2:20 still to play as the clock continues to wind. 3rd and 1. And I think they're going to take a timeout with the confusion. We'll take
like I said, I think this game's over. It's just going to be a matter of running out the 2 minutes.
The Otters go with the I formation, one man wide to the left side. They'll hand it off straight up the gut. That's that Brandon Oslin who's just checked in. And I'm not sure that he got the 1st down. Looks to be stopped shy back still at the 22-yard line. And that'll bring up 4th down. Actually, might have lost about a half yard on the play.
And you're going to see a situation where they're going to probably maybe even take the delay a game here, just to kind of run down the clock as much as possible. I'm kind of surprised with the field goal kicker that they've got that maybe they won't try a long one, but it would be about a 40-yarder.
Well, you got the game one to team 2 offense and see if they can score. These kids have all made the road trip. Who knows?
So Brandon Goltz is the quarterback now, and he'll hand it off straight up the middle and get out to the 20-yard line. That'll be good for the 1st down. And that should just about wrap things up with a minute and 20 to go here on the clock.
As soon as they reset the sticks here, the clock will start again. They'll have to run basically 2 plays and she's over.
couple more snaps.
So the clock has restarted as they reset the chains. Ball lying now on the 20-yard line. And some late substitutions for either team. They send one man wide to the left side and the two-man backfield. And they're not going to kneel on it. They'll give it to Brandon Oslin. He'll gain a few yards out to about the 18-yard line. And pick up about 2 yards, 55 seconds to play. And a second and about 8 on the play.
They're going to have to run this play and probably another one the way it looks. We'll probably, you can see that the quarterback's really looking up at the clock to see when he's got a snap to have a football snap.
This might actually be the final play when they do get it off. Brandon Goltz again going to run the offense as we're now inside 30 seconds here in the football game. One man wide to the right side with a two-man backfield. They'll hand it off straight up the gut. That's number 21 down to about the 11-yard line. And that's going to wrap things up. Jacob Leeser gets some good yardage, gains about a yard shy of first. That is going to wrap things up as we are now off the beach. The Jacks will take a break, come back, get you some analysis, and maybe some statistics as well as we continue with the postgame now here on the Bun Sports Radio 1350 KBUN.
If you haven't been in Julie's Hallmark lately, you're missing one of Bemidji's most enjoyable stops. Not only does Julie's feature the Hallmark cards that you've grown up with, but they also feature a large selection of collectibles. Collectibles make great gifts. More fun passed off for your speech.
Scott Williams back at Chet Anderson Stadium, and it was one of those situations. Turnovers was the difference. Early in the football game, 5 turnovers. I think it ended up being 6 turnovers for the Bemidji Lumberjacks and just 2 for Fergus Falls, and that was certainly the case. The Jacks able to capitalize very early, got the touchdown on the block punt, but from there on out, it was all Fergus Falls. It was the causing of turnovers, and then finally Jacks' inability to get the ball into the end zone from the 4-yard line.
And the thing is, too, no scoring happened in the second half. Fergus Falls did exactly what they had to do by getting some nice long drives going, which ate up a lot of the clock, and even if we would have got some scores with this offense, when you're grinding up 3 yards at a time, it's just not an offense where you can come back in a quick way unless you get some big plays to pop open.
You have to be very happy for the Jacks with the success of Matt Hendricks. I tell you, this defense for Fergus Falls was set up to stop the big play, and when you got down to it, Matt Hendricks could virtually run it well, gain anywhere from 5 to 10 yards virtually every time he touched the football.
Yeah, and I think you're going to see that here in the playoff, that first game of the playoffs, where he's going to be the go-to guy, and hopefully he can carry the load for us going into Moorhead.
Well, we're going to take ourselves a break. The final score, once again, 26-7, and we'll get you some statistics and find out what's coming up this week. Still on the Bun Sports Radio 1350 KB in our pregame interview, and certainly ended up being the case. Turnovers, the hugest difference here tonight.
Yeah, you're right. The one thing we tried to focus on, and